My issue with the healthy at every size community is with the extreme end of people, the very vocal minority of that community, who are not only saying that they might not want to change, but they're actively reaching out to other people in the world and saying, not only shouldn't you change, you probably can't. And this infuriates me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, witches and wizards, and even you muggles and squibs, I hope you're ready for today's very average upper body workout. All right, so this first exercise is a low incline Smith machine chest press. A couple quick things. Number one, personally, if I'm doing a regular bench press, it's difficult for me to feel my chest working. But if I do it on the Smith machine like I'm doing here, it takes away the stabilization component, so I can have more of a mind-muscle connection. I can really focus on feeling my pecs do the work. So if a regular bench press is difficult for you to feel your pecs, try this one out. Also, keep in mind, you're gonna notice I'm not locking my elbows completely out. They're still slightly bent at the top of the movement. I do this purposefully because it puts more tension and stress on the working muscles on your pecs. Those two tips combined, the Smith machine plus not locking your elbows out, can really help you if you're struggling to feel your pecs work. So I did this for 2 sets of 8 to 10. So the next exercise is a one-arm cable crossover. And this is actually one of the coolest parts about hiring another coach, even when you're a coach, because I never in my life would have put this movement second in a workout. It doesn't make sense when you're coming from a powerlifting perspective to try and fatigue the muscle before you get into the more heavier based strength movements. But when you're bodybuilding, it's a different set of rules. So this was really fun for me to do. Basically, what I want you to focus on here is keeping your shoulder down and away from your ears. You don't want your shoulder to come up. And the cue that Paul used was try and think about bringing your armpit across your chest. It really helps keep your shoulder down and you feel the pec contraction at the end of the movement super well, so give that a shot. I did it for 2 sets of 8 to 10 again. And also keep in mind, when I get to that 8 to 10 rep range, it's brutal. It's very difficult. I don't have 3 or 4 reps left in the tank. 2 sets of 8 to 10 means 2 sets of a very difficult 8 to 10 reps. All right, so the next exercise is an incline side lateral raise. Your shoulders are gonna blow up, all right? So when you're doing this, what Paul told me, and it's worked really well, is eliminate the bottom quarter of the movement. Basically, you only wanna go from the very top to about 3/4 of the way down. That's really all you have to focus on here. And when you do that, and when you eliminate that bottom quarter of the movement, you feel your shoulders way more. One of the reasons this exercise works so well is because you have that chest support in front of you. It eliminates the momentum. And you could cheat, you could really try and use your momentum to get it up there, but do your best to really focus on using your muscles to create the movement and not using momentum, because that's how you're gonna get the best results. All right, this next exercise is called a one-arm cable side lateral. And to be very candid with you, I'm still struggling with this exercise. It's very hard for me to feel my shoulders here, so I'm working hard on getting better, and someone's texting both Rico and I right now, but we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Number one is the cable's going in between my legs, right? And the reason for that is it allows me to really reach down in the line of pull of the muscle and get the most tension on my shoulder at the bottom, okay? And the exercise before, the hardest part was at the top. Now the hardest part is at the bottom. So you can get sort of the best of both worlds while training the shoulders this way. You're also gonna notice that I'm leaning slightly angled. My body's angled to the floor in an acute angle. And what this does is it allows me to get a greater range of motion while continuing to work the shoulder. Sometimes if you stand straight up, the active range of motion that you're working through, it's gonna be smaller. So by getting this extra lean, you can get a bigger range of motion and work the shoulder better. All right, so the second and last exercise, these are called rear delt swings, and you wanna do these on a slightly inclined bench. When I first saw Paul do these, it was like a light bulb moment for me because a lot of people struggle to feel their rear delts even when they're doing a rear delt raise. But this exercise, it almost forces you to feel your rear delts. So if you ever struggle to feel the back of your shoulders working, try this out rather than doing a rear delt raise, because it's much harder to use momentum, and just the simple movement alone, it immediately activates the backs of your shoulders. So give it a shot. Keep your palms facing the wall behind you. I did this for, again, 2 sets of 8 to 10, and again, it's a very heavy 2 sets of 8 to 10. So give it a shot. Warm up with some lighter weight first. I do 2 or 3 warm-up sets with lighter weight just to really get to feel my muscles working, and then go into the heavier sets. All right, so this last exercise is a seated dumbbell shoulder press. And one of the biggest mistakes people make here is they try and drive the dumbbells towards each other at the very top, but that's actually gonna make it harder for you to feel your shoulders working. One of the cues that Paul taught me, and I love this one, is drive your biceps towards your ears at the top of every movement. Now, keep in mind, the dumbbells still shouldn't go towards each other. The dumbbells should still be in line with your elbows. But when you try and drive your elbows or your biceps towards your ears, you're gonna feel your shoulders working way better. So for this one, it was literally only 1 set of 8 to 10, and by this point in time, I was dead. My shoulders were trashed, my pecs were trashed. Felt really good though. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed the workout. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Workout is done. Gesundheit, Rico. Tell Rico bless you in the comment section. If you have any questions on the workout, put them in the comments so I can answer them. I hope you enjoyed that. And for now, we're gonna get a protein shake, and then I'm gonna see you for a little chat. We are showered, we are cleaned up, we're refreshed, we're ready to go. If you enjoyed the workout synopsis, the critique, let me know in the comment section. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Now, Rico and I, we want to have a chat about a pretty incendiary topic in the fitness industry right now. It's about healthy at every size, that movement, which is, they say HAES. That's how the acronym they use online. Couple things. Number one, everything in the fitness industry, like I've said before, it tends to go in either an extreme pendulum swing. It's either good or bad, right or wrong, healthy or unhealthy, because it's much easier to convince people when you use an extremist attitude, when you have this ideological extremist right, wrong, good, bad attitude. The issue with that is very few things are all good, all bad, all healthy, all unhealthy. My issue with the healthy at every size community is with the extreme end of people, the very vocal minority of that community, who are not only saying that they might not want to change, but they're actively reaching out to other people in the world and saying, not only shouldn't you change, you probably can't. And this infuriates me. When you're going out of your way, make your own decisions for you. Totally support that. But when you tell other people you shouldn't be trying to lose weight, it doesn't improve your health. When you tell people that diets don't work, and you cherry pick data, or you see someone else tweeting or writing on Instagram, yeah, diets don't work, here's data, and you're like, yes, I support that, and you just say, see, diets don't work, there's research to support it, but you haven't actually even read the studies, you don't understand the studies, you actually haven't looked at the studies, you're just looking at what someone else has said, and like, yeah, well, research says that. That's a big fucking problem. The reality is, diets do work, and I'm gonna explain why. This idea of what dieting is has been very convoluted, and I'm getting super upset about this because it's it's a dangerous topic. The topic isn't dangerous, the situation is dangerous. What's dangerous is the very vocal minority within this group are screaming and shouting, don't lose weight, you can't lose weight, it's not possible. And my concern is, in 30, 40, 50 years, what's gonna happen to a lot of these people who were led to believe that not only should they not lose weight, but they can't lose weight, so then they stay either where they are in a very morbidly obese situation, maybe even get worse and worse and worse, and then they're dying earlier, they're getting diseases. What's gonna happen to them? What's gonna happen to their kids? What are their kids gonna do when they look at who was preaching this, who encouraged these people not to get their health in check, who encouraged these people not to change their nutrition, who encouraged these people not to modify their lifestyle? I mean, it's scary as shit. Making this video is very scary for me, because I guarantee there are gonna be people in the comment section saying, you're an asshole, you're fat shaming. It's like, number one is, I'm not fat shaming. Again, whatever you decide for you, I support and will encourage you. My issue is when you tell other people that they can't and they shouldn't. So in regard to this diets don't work fallacy that a lot of people are pushing. There's a couple things we have to cover. Number one is, what is the definition of the word diet? What does it actually mean? A diet, if you look it up on Google, you look up the definition, it just means what you're eating on a habitual basis. That is it. When you say the word diet, it does not imply that you're doing a fad diet, a crash diet. It doesn't imply that you're trying to lose weight even. Sometimes people change their diet to gain weight. Sometimes people will change their diet to get more nutrients in there in what they're eating. Sometimes people will change their diet to help improve their immune system. Sometimes people will change their diet, improve their heart health, improve their lipid profile. Diet just means what you're eating, and the fact that there are people saying diets don't work means that they're taking this very reductionist view of saying, well, diets always mean you're trying to lose weight. That's not true. Someone who struggles with being underweight will go on a diet of more calories to gain weight. It's very important to understand that diet isn't a bad word, and that diet doesn't only mean lose weight. And that's the other point I wanted to bring up. A lot of these people in the healthy at every size community, they're demonizing the word diet. They're saying you shouldn't say the word diet. They're saying you shouldn't say the word obese either, which is a whole separate topic. This is a very dangerous issue when people start trying to censor people's speech. And I'm gonna explain why. Let's say, for example, someone was afraid of carbohydrates. Someone thought carbs were gonna make them fat. Someone thought carbs were inherently unhealthy for you. Any nutrition coach worth their salt would not say, okay, you know what? Because you're scared or triggered by carbohydrates, let's just not eat them. Let's just avoid them. Don't even think about them. And if anyone brings up carbs to you in your conversations, tell them that's triggering to me, please don't bring that up. Of course not. Any nutrition coach, dietitian, nutritionist, they would say, hey, what we're gonna do is we're going to slowly reintroduce carbohydrates into your diet so that you can learn that they're totally fine, that they're not unhealthy for you, they're not gonna make you fat, that actually they can be very healthy for you and they can help you in many ways, whether your goal is fat loss or weight gain or just overall health in general, or just having a healthy relationship with food. No one would say, you know what, just avoid them just because it triggers you. So why then do we take this mentality that when people are saying the word diet, like, oh no, you shouldn't say the word diet, it's triggering to people. Just don't say it, avoid it. That's the absolute worst way to go about it. What's going on is you're taking this idea of this diet being a bad triggering word, and you're encouraging people to, rather than dealing with what's going on internally, to try and censor everyone around them. Rather than working on the issues they have, you're telling them to look at what their environment is doing and to try and censor it, to try and control it. When the only thing that you have control of ever in life is you. You're all you ever have control over, and even then, that can be very difficult. You have no control over your environment. You can control who you hang out with. You can control where you put yourself sometimes, but there's so many things going on around, you can't control it all the time. Why would you risk trying to control your environment when you could try to better yourself and make yourself more resilient? It's the same thing with when people step on the scale. And if someone doesn't want to step on the scale because they don't like seeing their weight, that's totally fine, you don't have to. If someone gets on the scale and the scale is ruining their day, rather than just saying, hey, don't step on the scale, wouldn't you want them to be able to step on the scale, look at the number, and not let it affect them at all? Not let it have any emotional reaction, whether the scale goes up or goes down? Going down isn't necessarily a win, going up isn't necessarily a loss. It's just a number, it's just data. That's all it is. So why are we trying to censor people from saying diet and obese when instead of trying to control the environment, you should make yourself more resilient? You should resolve the problems on the inside rather than trying to tell everybody else what they need to be doing. So here's the deal. I know there's gonna be a lot of people in the comment section who are gonna be super mad and saying I'm fat shaming and all this stuff. And I'm gonna be very frank with you. I don't care, because I'm not. I'm just not. I support and encourage people of any shape and every size, more so than a lot of the people on the extreme end of the healthy at every size movement, because a lot of these people will look at someone who's losing weight and shame them, say, how dare you? You shouldn't be doing that. And meanwhile, well, the healthy at every size movement says they support all bodies. I really support all bodies. You do anything you want to do. I encourage you. Whatever you'd like to do with your body, I'll support you. I'll encourage you. But don't you dare go shame anybody else for wanting to lose weight, for wanting to gain weight, for wanting to change their nutrition, for saying the word diet, for caring about how they look, for caring about wanting to improve their health. Because if someone is saying that you shouldn't lose weight, that you shouldn't get health, improve your health, that you shouldn't worry about that stuff, that you shouldn't care about that stuff, that person has their own set of emotional issues. And usually, when someone is saying diets don't work, what they're actually saying is diets haven't worked for me, or I haven't been able to do it successfully yet, so you won't be able to either. I'm not speaking to the very extremist group right now. I'm speaking to the people who might be torn between which way to go. If you are in that range where you have people from the very extremist end saying, hey, you shouldn't lose weight, don't lose weight, but you also have people being like, hey, you know what, like maybe it might be a good idea for your health, for your joints, it's okay, and you don't know which way to go, I wanna let you know there is nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you immoral or unethical. It doesn't make you fat shaming. It doesn't mean anything other than you might want to lose weight for any number of reasons. For your health, for your joint health, for your heart health, your mental health, for whatever reason. And they are all valid. And don't let anybody convince you otherwise. And if I can help, please let me know in the comments. That's what I'm here for. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. Talk to you soon.